To see you with reactions to the diplomatic spat. Well, it's gloves off, isn't it, between Mexico's president and Donald Trump?
Yeah, a boxing match indeed, Mark. A spat that began and escalated on Twitter. You had Donald Trump, he sort of began the match, if you like, with his tweet saying, if you don't pay for the wall, you're not welcome to the White House. So then you had Peña Nieto, the Mexican president, who said, well, I'm not coming to the White House then. And now recent reports that Trump's spokesman said he may impose a 20% border tax to fund that wall has also provoked a lot of reactions on Twitter. This user here says, notes with a little bit of irony that what an idea to finance a wall with taxes you never paid. Hashtag I pay my taxes. While this user has said life without Target and avocado toast is going to suck. A Mexico wall tax will only hurt average Americans more. Of course, a lot of people believing and noting on Twitter that the prices of many beloved products they import from Mexico will go up, notably avocado in guacamole, but also tequila. Now, a lot of Twitter users have generally come out in support of Peña Nieto for taking a stand against the U.S. This user says, well, it's as if you were invited to a cool party bar, but you were told you had to pay everyone's tab. Well, you wouldn't go either. While another user says, well, will Mexico be the first country that Donald Trump starts a war with? It's not all critical, though, Mark. This user is saying the wall has not even been built yet, and President Trump is keeping one Mexican from coming across the border. So a sort of a remark for Trump's support, if you like.
It's too easy, that one, isn't it? Now, you found some articles looking at the possible obstacles standing in the way of building this massive wall.
Well, there's been a lot of talk, notably in the Australian newspaper, about these obstacles. One of them is that part of the wall would be built on Native American land. And the owners there say, well, they will never allow the wall to be built on their land. And it's very hard through legal procedures to actually, I guess, illegally build on land that belongs to Native tribes. In fact, the exact words of the owner were, over my dead body. In any case, they say Trump will simply have to accept there'll be a huge gaping hole in his wall, one that crosses through native land.
It's interesting, though, because he's decided to sign the order to build the pipeline underneath the Sioux territory, possibly spoiling the drinking water. That's one decision to trample over Native American rights. Maybe he will just follow the same suit.
Well, I guess time will only tell if he's able to curtail those rights. The other dispute, though, Mark, is also cost. Trump says, it'll cost around $10 billion, but there are a lot of reports that it could cost well over that, up to $25 billion.
$25 billion. Let's bring it to France now. Outrage continues over the French presidential candidate, François Fillon, and his wife's alleged fake job. This is a growing scandal, and he's spoken, of course, on network TV here in France, hasn't he?
That's right. There was a lot of buzz on the internet on Wednesday, and it's continuing on Thursday, especially as François Fillon sort of trying to he's working into overtime to restore his image. The Huffington Post, the French version, calls it branle-bas de combat, which basically means something that happens when you least expect it and throws a spanner into the works. Well, this is François Fillon's moment, and that scandal is throwing a spanner into his presidential campaign, and now he's working overtime to improve his public image, appearances on national TV, as you mentioned, speaking to the morning shows, promises of cooperating fully in the investigation. We've been hearing a lot of him all day on Thursday. As you see here in this cartoon, he's sort of the coxswain in a rowboat, yelling at his supporters, row harder, row harder. So he's really...
And of course, his wife with the little boat there full of pots and pans.
That's right.
Which, of course, it's one of these French expressions for dragging sort of like, skeletons in your closet behind you. They say you're dragging pans behind you.
Exactly. So, but there is one reaction to that interview he gave to French TV. François Fillon, whose nose just keeps getting longer, like Pinocchio. Of course, he went on TV to defend himself, but I guess not everyone is convinced. But whatever the outcome, this cartoon really, I guess, sums it up. You have Fillon telling Penelope there on the sunbed, you've got to go and pick up your payslip. And Penelope says, oh, wait, let me finish sunbathing and then I'll go and do my fake job. So.
We need to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. It's nice to end on a smile. Datika Lauren with Media Watch. Thank you for being with us.